Hi, Elena. Let's see what you did with this set. We've got the flowchart here. Let's see what you did here, all right? Okay. The diagram shows different processes that 5 types S of tea need to be prepared and ready to be drunk. Okay. It is illustrated from the flowchart that first of all, the fresh tea leaves are sorted and cleaned. Regarding the white tea, we can see that the leaves go through a process of steaming and drying, and the tea is ready. In contrast with the other tea, there are different steps to follow. Careful with your spelling. More specifically, the leaves for green oolong and black tea have to be withered first. Secondly, for the green tea, they go through pan frying, steaming, or firing. Then they are rolled and shaped or dried with the jasmine added. Regarding oolong tea, after withering and before the short fermentation, there are processes of shaking or rolling in basket to bruise leaf edges. Then pan frying and drying are the last 2 steps. You need a W before the tea is ready. Moreover, the black tea has a full fermentation and is dried too, but first the steps are different compared to the other type of other types of tea. The leaves are rolled into strips for gongfu black or cut for broken black. Finally, the scented tea is made from the process of drying of the leaf, green, black, or oolong tea. This is awkward. These are scented with flowers or fruit and then cooled. Overall, except for the scented tea, which is more elaborated, you don't mean this word, you mean a different word. The other 4 types of tea start from the fresh tea leaves and then they go through different steps. Okay. So I thought this was pretty good. I mean, you showed a good understanding about how to do it. There were a few things that I would have changed. I would have economized a little bit. You basically went into a ton of detail. And remember that task 1 is about showing that you can group things together, that you can edit, and you know what's important to include and what's not important to include. I feel like you kind of included everything. And so while I liked a lot of this, there were some things that I thought you could have been a little more efficient with. So one of those things was over here. And also, I wanted you to emphasize a little bit. So you said that all tea leaves are sorted and cleaned, and then you went regarding the white tea. I would have liked you to signpost this a little better. In other words, to emphasize it. So you could have just said the simplest of all tea types is white tea, which following the sorting and cleaning is steamed and dried. Done. Okay, so this way we know why you're talking to us about white tea first. You have those steps, it's done, it's over. Okay, then what you could have done here is you could have said the other 3 types of tea, green, oolong, and black, all share the same next step, which is withering. Okay, and then you could have then gone to green and said, following this process, green has the fewest steps. It is pan fried, steamed, or fired, and then either rolled and shaped or dried. See that we're there? Okay, and then you could have said, where is it? Then what you could have done is you could have talked about black tea. Now, why do I do that? Because it too can be rolled. So then you could have said that. You could have said something like green tea, black tea can also be rolled, or it can be cut, after which it goes full fermentation and then is fired. All right. And then you could have gone to oolong tea and said, and then again, emphasizing the tea with the longest process is oolong. So following withering, it can be shaken or rolled. Okay. And like black tea, it also follows a fermentation process, but this is short fermentation, after which it is pan-fried and then dried. Okay, so it's kind of showing the connections between these and saying what you could, like, you could have taken this together and then showed how these are similar, how they contrast, and so forth, the way I did. But also emphasizing, like, okay, why am I talking about this tea? I'm not just going down the row. Here's white, here's green, there's oolong, and there's black. Also doing a little kind of critical thinking about these and how to order them. Because the easiest thing to do is just go white, green, oolong, and black. Okay? And then you can mention here, which you didn't mention, that scented tea is made only with green, black, or oolong. So you have to show that it's not made with white tea. Okay? And involves drying, scenting with flowers or fruits, followed by cooling. Done. Okay? So that's just a couple of things about this. I want you to be careful with some of your typing. I mean, you had a couple of like just careless mistakes like this, and then there were some spelling things that I saw as well. So on the whole, it was good, but you didn't really do a lot of this kind of critical thinking that task one requires at times. Okay, where you have to kind of make some decisions about how to best do this. Okay, all right. So let's take a look now at your task 2 about companies leaving the cities. Let's see what you said. Okay. Nowadays, companies which are located in large cities are moved to regional locations because the local government believes this is something you do a lot. You forget that third person singular in the present tense needs an S. You do this quite a bit. Local government believes that this solution could have more positive aspects than negative. In this essay, both points of view of this decision will be discussed. Using examples from an Oxford University study and recent government research. Okay. So, what are the benefits and drawbacks? Okay, fine. You didn't have to tell us which one was more important, so that's fine. On the one hand, the idea of moving companies to places that are not, that are not, it's not that they're not lived in, they're just not urban areas. So you wanted to state that. How about that are less crowded? That would be good. The idea of moving companies to places that are less crowded has some benefits that have to be considered. Firstly, new companies produce new work positions. Okay. Secondly, in this way, some areas that were unknown or underestimated could become more popular due to the construction of new buildings. For example, the UK government illustrated that the regional location with companies developed more, and they are grateful for this. Therefore, it is consequently clear that these ESE changes are making areas that in the past were with an E only, not H, not considered, more popular and rich. Okay, get rid of the comma. So you did all of this really well, but you didn't really support this at all. You said that it produces new work positions. Okay, well, tell me about it. Explain it. Why is that good? All right, or how does this somehow help us in some way? Anyway, so whenever you present an idea, Elena, you have to support it. It's not enough to just support one of the two. You really want to support both. Okay, let's move on. On the other hand, there are also some negative aspects that may not be taken into consideration in the beginning, but that can cause problems in the future. Although new companies bring with them more money and more people, it is, no, not fear. It is alarming, that's a good word, to know that they can damage the area, producing more gases and pollution or reducing the green area because of the construction of new structures. Moreover, they increase the noise and the number of cars around the area, and so the inhabitants that were used to living in tranquility have to change their habits. For example, a recent empirical study from Oxford University shows that 65% of the population are not fully satisfied about the new entry of companies in their area. Thus, the people are not always thankful for the local government's apostrophe S decision about the location of the companies. All right, that was well developed, but I want you to be careful with this language, grammar, vocabulary, primarily grammar. Considerable errors throughout. I didn't lose meaning. I was able to understand what you meant, but I wanted you to be more accurate in order to help you get a higher band score for grammar. All right, so from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that the government should put on the balance. I don't understand that. No. So I believe that government should consider both pros and cons of every situation without losing the importance of the inhabitants' happiness and necessities. Okay. Just to kind of reiterate with this, if I'm not mistaken, Elena, this is your last set, is it not? I thought you did a really nice job. I thought you developed well. I thought a lot of it was good, but I did want to see a little higher accuracy in grammar. You made a lot of consistent mistakes, especially with that S. You keep forgetting S's either for the plural or for, present simple. And the problem with a mistake like this is that it's considered basic grammar. It's like when you start learning verbs, it's one of the first things you learn how to do. And so when you make mistakes like this, examiners are going to be less lenient than if you had made a mistake with more advanced grammar. That they're more kind of, like, well, at least you tried something difficult. So I want you to be careful about this. We do have other sets available if you'd like to continue practicing with us, if you find that that this is helping you. I mean, I see that you're doing really well in terms of the other areas like coherence and cohesion and grammatical range and accuracy. What did I say? I meant task achievement. I'm sorry. It's grammatical range and accuracy that I think it has some issues that you need to work on a little bit. But if you'd like to continue practicing with us, then definitely take a look at one of the um, essay correction packages so we can continue. Okay. Let me know what you decide to do. I really want to hear either way what your plans are. So keep in touch and good luck.